check out what's going on right now on the green carpet at Dances with Films.
Tell us what you guys got going on.
Oh, well, we're screening, having a world premiere of our film tomorrow, maybe. I'm a writer, producer, actor, a star in it, and you are.
I'm a writer producer for the film.
Yeah, and we're just thrilled to be at Dances with Films. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the process on how making the film and getting all the cast and crew together.
Well, it wasn't a film that had a lot of money behind it, so we had to work to find the best people to put behind it. And we found a great team. I mean, we didn't always have the money to get the necessary resources to do the things we wanted to do. So the team really came together. And at times we had actors holding lights or boom poles or,
That's not true.
Not this guy.
It was very collaborative. No, it was very collaborative, and that was the best part of it. Really, like to be able to say, instead of just having your job, to be able to say, hey, what are we trying to do here? And what can we do better? How can we improve this? Every day, sitting down with your friends, you're going, listen, we're trying to make a good movie here. We don't have a lot of the other stuff, but if we have good story and good performance, we might succeed. And I'm thrilled that it appears we did.
Tell us a little bit about the story dynamic, how it separates from other films in your genre.
I found it interesting, I've worked on budgets of all size. When Roy and Jace, the director, Jace Daniel, brought the script and asked me to a table read, I said, okay, it needs work, but there was a script there. And there was a character I really wanted to play. And I wanted to give it a different twist than I think I might have been asked to on another film. So I think it evolved from there. That's what made it special, I think.
Yeah, everybody that worked on this film took ownership of it. Nobody was there to do a job. They were all there because they were invested in this project, and it meant something to everybody that was there. Like their hearts were in this piece, and that's why it turned out as good as it did.
One that skull was inspired by the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks. Wrote the script was close to 9 years ago now, and so obviously the political climate has just become even more charged, even more divided, more and more polarized, But I think our film is incredibly timely because right from the outset we knew we had to try to draw that humanist line. We're facing a very real problem in the dehumanization of Muslims, and we're also facing at the same time the very real problem of Islamic fundamentalism and how the two sides at the moment that are talking past each other, and the human history says we don't talk, we fight. And so this is a film that really is about speaking to those issues, but seeing the human beings inside, from all walks of life, getting past that, the fear factor that's driving so much of our current society and so much of our rhetoric around this kind of stuff. So that's what our film's about.
Where did the film take place?
The film we shot, we're actually en route to Mumbai when there was actually another terrorist attack. And so we had to re-divert with the actors and everybody, and we shot our exteriors in Nepal for Mumbai. And then we shot the oldest in Australia, back where we're from. We shot the interiors in the oldest hotel in the Southern Hemisphere that had that kind of old world luxury feel that the Taj Mahal Hotel has in India.
Wow, that seems like it faced many challenges. Can you elaborate one of the challenges you faced making this film?
Yeah, it was epic. I mean, when you try to, everyone talks about production scale being the thing. How are you going to execute a film with that scale? But it's not just the production scale, it's the political scale, the weight of the issues, and the emotional scale. That's, for me as a writer-director, what keeps me up at night, trying to make sure we draw that humanist, compassionate line, and talk to these issues in a way that people, that middle road in our conversations that most people are not managing to strike or to take. So that was the biggest challenge, but yeah, plenty of logistical ones too, of course. Huh?
What do you want audience to take away with your film?
What I want audience to take away from the film would be, there's a great line from a religious philosopher who says that, an artist will only tell you what to think if he really doesn't like you. So what I hope audiences will take away is not a story about terrorism, not a story about the suffering and the pain that's inherent to those actions, but rather a story about how we can collectively move towards humanism, how we can actually let some of those things fall away and continue to see each other.
If you have 3 words to describe him, what would the words be?
Love, compassion, togetherness.
Grief. Grief is a drama thriller, basically about a man who's kind of at the end of his rope, and he's kind of lost all hope after he loses his only child and goes through a very difficult divorce and decides to kind of end it all. I play a character, a cop, who's called in to diffuse the situation and potentially try to talk him out of what could be a very tragic situation.
What are some of the challenges you face doing Grief?
Well, it was a very tense scene. Anytime you're dealing with suicide, it's a very real issue that people deal with, from depression, anxiety, and just not feeling, supported. So the days on set were very, very challenging, in such that it was a very, very tense moment because you're dealing with a lot of high-end emotions. So I'd say that was probably the most challenging of the two. The TV pilot, Halfway There, is very different. It's a very irreverent, drug-fueled comedy. So the challenge there was just keeping a straight face and staying centered on the characters, and not drinking and doing too much weed and coke and meth.
Tell us a little bit about this TV pilot.
TV pilot. It's called Halfway There. It's a very fun project. It was directed by Brett Edwards. Produced by Brett Edwards, directed by Madeline Puzo. And it's a really fun picture. It's basically a poor man's entourage. You got basically 3 guys who are trying to figure out how to make it in Hollywood. But they got a lot of distractions. They have a very long-running drug habit and penchant for overindulging and making very bad decisions while they're under the influence of just about everything.
Halfway There. So tell us a little bit about your character.
My character is a weed dealer. I basically supply the 2 guys, my best friends, with everything they need. I try to just stick to the weed, but if they require something a little heavier, I expand my resources and reach out to my network, and it's kind of like the pink dot of, let's just say, recreational entertainment.
Yes, you're the writer. Tell us a little bit about the film.
The film is about a girl who manipulates people into giving her a place to stay. And when she falls for one of them, it's about how far she will go to protect all the secrets she's been keeping from him.
Wow. So Dan, the director, what challenges you faced doing this film?
I think the challenges were, the big challenge was try to combine a complicated story and script with a very tight budget. And yeah, that's I guess it's always a challenge, but I think we did it quite well.
So Stacey, what was your process of making this film?
Well, first developing the script, getting lots of feedback, getting it to a place where we were really happy with it and able to, send it out to people to join the cast and be a part of it. And then, getting the right cast involved was so great. Like being in the room and auditioning with the other actors was so amazing. And then when that chemistry hit, getting to actually do the season, it was so awesome. And going through that whole process of developing our relationships was really amazing.
So you're an actress as well in Landing Up.
What was that?
You're an actress as well.
Yeah, I also played the lead.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about your character.
Chrissy is, let's say she's young. She knows how to use what she has to get what she wants. She hasn't got it all figured out yet since she's sort of fresh off the bus, living on the streets of New York. She has a friend who basically picks her up off the streets and teaches her how to just stay with people until her, welcome runs out. So she's sort of manipulative, but also means well and is empathetic and genuine. But she has her manipulative side. She can get to some really dark places. But I think she's overall a good-hearted person who sort of takes the opportunities that present themselves to her more than anything else.
So Dan, the director, what was one of the challenges you faced most doing Landing Up?
Say that again?
What was one of the most challenging things you did Landing Up?
Something specific.
What?
Something specific.
Yeah, specific challenge. Let's see.
Dina.
Yeah. So yeah, no. So we had a big tragedy in the film about a month after we shot the film. One of the lead actresses, Dina Hines, was murdered by her boyfriend. And what happened is that couple months after that was exactly a month after we wrapped the principal photography. And yes, so couple months after that, we realized we had a first rough cut of the film, and we realized we were not happy with the way that it ended. So we had to come up with a new ending, but now we didn't have Dina with us to be a part of that. So it was some kind of a creative challenge to try to come up with an ending that does not involve her.
What do you want audience to take away with?
That's a big question. What do I want audience to take? I want them to look. So we deal a lot with homelessness and the way that we see it in the film, and I want people to look at it in a different point of view. Okay, I don't want to be more specific than that because I feel that after you see the film, you'll understand what I'm talking about, how exactly I want you to look at that. But being here in LA and in 10 days we have a screening in New York, two cities with big homelessness issue. Two big cities that deal with homelessness in many different ways. I think that it's important for us to stop. In a way we become numb to that phenomena, and I think we need to look at it in a new way, in a different way.